Hello, my name is Costa from Roxxare Instant Coaching, and today I will be analyzing a replay submitted by player Super Moyen playing Fiora top at flat 2 elo. I need to point out that Fiora is at the AFK at the beginning of the game. Now, this has no impact in this game, but in any other game, had the enemy team decided to invade top, Fiora's team would be at a disadvantage.
Minions have spawned.
Now, Poppy is making a mistake. He's trying to push Fiora at level 1, and at the same time, Fiora is also making a mistake. He is not fighting Poppy enough, since he has the advantage level 1. Poppy gets to level 2. Fiora still manages to get a couple of good trades. The second mistake is that Fiora leveled up E at level 2. Had Fiora leveled up W, it would be much easier to trade with Fiora on level 2. Because W is an amazing trade tool, level 2, because it lets you to mitigate damage that you are taking, while at the same time dealing more damage to the enemy. Now Fiora mechanically misplays, uses W for no reason, goes in on Poppy, gives her blood. Lee Sin is not able to take the kill as Jarvan comes up to save Poppy. Now Poppy is making a mistake. Poppy should instantly recall, knowing that Fiora is going to TP. She stayed too long, and this will make Fiora have some free CS that she would not be able to take otherwise. Fiora's trying to freeze the wave, doing a pretty good job. And now for some reason she's slow pushing against Poppy once she came to lane. Again, this is a mistake. This allows Poppy to farm under her turret, while at the same time having kill potential on Fiora in the case of a gank from Jarvan. Fiora takes a good trade. Sorry about that. Let me jump back. So, Poppy goes too aggressive on Fiora. Fiora misses the riposte, but that doesn't really matter. Then Poppy misses the stun. So a lot of mechanical misplays in this 1v1. Fiora manages to take the kill. Now, in an ideal scenario, Fiora would want to push this wave, knowing that Poppy is dead, and so he's going to miss some CS. At the same time, Poppy does have TP, which he uses to try and minimize the CS difference. Now, Fiora's being amazingly greedy at this point. She should have just gone back. And dies to Poppy. Now I'm going to pause at this point. I want to point out that Fiora has just bought Tiamat. Now in a losing lane, which this is kind of, like it's not exactly losing since he's ahead in CS, but again, Poppy is a little bit stronger since she just got a kill and it's 2-1. Fiora does not want to get Tiamat because Tiamat auto pushes the lane and makes ganking easier for Jarvan. Had Fiora gotten for a phage, at this point she should be able to kite Poppy, be able to hit vitals better with the movement speed by attacking minions and with the movement speed by attacking Poppy herself. Poppy pushes the lane, goes back. That's what everyone should do when you take a kill in lane and the opponent does not have TP. Now see, with the timeout, the lane is going to slow push whether Fiora wants it or not. This gives you the advantage to Poppy in this lane. Poppy does not see the pink ward, tries to go for a gank mid, I think. I'm not going to comment on that ward. The gank doesn't turn out too well. And what one should point out is that Fiora did not push the wave hard before roaming, and that allows the wave to stay in mid lane, stay in the middle of the lane, I mean. While had Fiora stayed for a couple of more seconds, used the timeout, pushed the wave to the turret, now Poppy would be missing some CS while everyone was wasting time mid. Fiora gets off a good ult, sadly. Syndra has just enough mana to use her knockback and save herself from death. This time Fiora sees the pink ward. Again, Fiora may have tried to freeze the lane, but with timeout that's not really possible, and we see the wave is slow pushing towards top side, towards red side again. Fiora goes back, Poppy's pushing the lane. Now, I want to point out Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Ionian Boots of Lucidity may work in some matchups, which are like in easy matchups, but Poppy is definitely not an easy matchup for Fiora. So at this point, Ionian Boots of Lucidity gives her some cooldown reduction, but it denies her combat stats that she would have taken from Ninja Tabai, or basically any armor AD item. I believe Ionian Boots of Lucidity is a terrible buy at this point because A, Poppy does not have boots yet, which means that Fiora does not need tier 2 boots to catch up to Poppy if she needs to chase her. And 2, Ionian Boots of Lucidity basically gives no combat stats other than cooldown reduction. So this 600 gold could easily have been another Vampiric Scepter or any other item really. TP is wasted for a couple of minions. Now that gives Poppy the TP advantage if she wants to gank bot. Jarvan's already there. Fiora makes a mistake because, I mean, the bush is warded. She knows Jarvan is there. She underestimates him, misses the stun, and dies, which is made even worse by the fact that she just used TP, so she has no way of coming back to lane. Syndra is right here, which means that Fiora does not have teleport advantage. 3 people are coming top, and this is probably going to be a tower going down. For some reason, Syndra left. They decided they didn't need to help the turret. Lee does a good job of taking Dragon while the enemy team is topside. And now Kassadin kills Poppy and Jarvan. Now, this is a mistake on Syndra's part. Had Syndra stayed here with Poppy and Jarvan, Kassadin would not have been able to kill both of them. And also, Syndra, the tide would have gotten, they would have gotten the tower much faster, much easier, and would have all gone back safely. Well, Syndra just decided to go be alone, providing nothing to her team. So this is a mistake by Syndra, capitalized on nicely by Kassadin, even though the tower still went down. Now, Fiora's making a mistake of, again, not pushing the lane. Poppy is TPing mid, so Fiora has a great opportunity to maybe take the turret. Fiora just realizes that Poppy is mid and tries to push. Poppy's coming top, Fiora's going mid for some reason, even though there's nothing to do. Kassadin comes, they do a great job of pushing mid. Free turret, that was a good decision. So Fiora and Kassadin outplay Jarvan, get a kill. Poppy makes a mistake, flashes in for no reason. Fiora goes back. This is a pretty risky position to go back. Oh, Fiora does not go back. Oh, Fiora goes back, but Poppy's already there. Fiora is quite lucky because the ward there just went off. That means that Poppy could have seen and killed Fiora. Honestly, like, Fiora should have just gone in her jungle and won't be there. That was a pretty risky recall. The enemy team didn't capitalize, but that is not going to happen every game. Fiora finishes her Ravenous Hydra, which is honestly a good item right now because she needs to be able to outpush Poppy, and she needs the lifesteal and the damage to be able to 1v1 Poppy. Fiora should have probably W'd that Poppy ult, but that's not, doesn't have too much of an import. Isn't too important. Poppy is forced to go back. That means Fiora pushes the lane top. Fiora takes blue. I believe that this is not a very good decision. Like, blue buff would have been much better in Kassadin, but I mean, Fiora can use it. Fiora can use blue, it's just not. It's not very optimal. Again, Fiora is wasting time. This red buff is quite risky since the enemy team knows she's there because of the ward in the bush. Yeah, Fiora stops. Fiora starts red buff again. Now, at this point, we need to know that Fiora could have been pushing top lane and taking the turret, while the team is wasting the enemy's time 3v4 in the mid lane. So Fiora finally goes top. However, mid lane is not going very well for the blue team. They're making a couple of mistakes, dying. Kassadin leaves the team to go and split push bot lane, which is not a good decision. And this allows the enemy team to push top, to push mid. Now Syndra is coming to defend against Fiora top. I think Fiora should not have gone B at this point. Fiora can pretty easily 1v1 Syndra with a W. Kassadin dies to Poppy. I'm not sure how that happened. But again, it's obviously a mistake on his part. Now, in an optimal world, what should have happened is that Kassadin should have stayed mid with the team, stayed 4v4. In fact, 4v3 while Syndra was still top, was still base. Now, this would have led the team to either push the mid turn or at least give some time for Fiora to split push top. Because that way, Syndra would be either forced to come mid, help her team, Or if Syndra decided to go top to face Fiora, the team would have a pretty good fight 3v4 mid. Now, Kassadin made the mistake, tried to split push bot, while Fiora was split pushing top. Now, in some cases, this 1-3-1 may work, but what happened is that the team lost the fight mid, then Kassadin got caught, then Fiora was forced back. So, if Fiora wasn't late, wasting time on the red buff, and wasting time behind enemy lines here at the beginning, and Kassadin did not go bot, that could have been translated into mid turret and top turret. Enemy team is doing Dragon. Fiora does have TP, but she has not decided to TP yet. In my opinion, that is a good decision, because Cloud Drake is not too important at this point. Fiora's team can waste the enemy's team time, which will let Fiora either push top turret, take it, and move on to the second one, with minor to no casualties. Again, Fiora makes a mistake, decides to go back. No, does not go back. Just waste some time. Takes turret top finally. Poppy's being greedy at this point. She's trying to 1v1 Fiora. Fiora's making some mechanical mistakes. Well, so in any other scenario, Poppy should have lost to Fiora at this point. But Fiora was low on mana, and she made a couple of mechanical mistakes. Using W, let Fiora stun her here. Let's see. Let Poppy stun her here. Let's watch that 1v1. Again, at a little slower speed. Okay, so Fiora wastes W. And then lets Poppy stun her. Now, I mean, it's pretty lucky and then uses Flash without hitting the Vital. So this 1v1 was pretty lucky on Poppy's part. I wouldn't say it was a decision-making mistake by Fiora to fight Poppy at that point. It was a good decision, but she mechanically misplayed and thus died. However, she still got the objective, which gives goals to the team, so one may say it worked. Fiora decides to go mid. In my opinion, this is a waste of time. Fiora is much more useful in a split pushing scenario than in a team fight. Had Fiora been split pushing bot and kept some pressure. Okay, let's watch this team fight again. So even though this team fight seems to go well, had Fiora been split pushing top and had some bot and have some pressure, this would minimize the risk, because even though this team fight goes well, the gold is very close. That means it could have very well not gone well had the enemy played this better. However, had Fiora been split pushing bot and have Vel'Koz, Graves, and Kassadin wave clear mid without even fighting, Fiora would have taken a farm advantage over Poppy and maybe a turret advantage for her team. Now, we need to point out that at this point, Fiora can 1v1 anyone in the opponent's team. She can easily 1v1 Poppy if she doesn't make the mistake she made the previous time. And she can easily 1v1 Jarvan, Syndra, Ezreal, or Nami. So Fiora, instead of team fighting, should be using this advantage to force two people to counter her or take a turret. If two people come to Fiora, Fiora can very well escape using her Q, waste time of two enemies, and then have her team fight 4v3. Now let's see the team fight. Ezreal gets caught by Kassadin. Nami is not able to save him. Fiora does a great job of killing Poppy. Kassadin takes the kill. Vel'Koz takes a good ult. Kassadin escapes with barely any HP. Now, Fiora's team just won a team fight, and they should try to translate this into as many objectives as possible. So the team is trying to take mid. Fiora is making a good decision of going top. pushing the wave, trying to put some pressure on the second turret. This forces Poppy's TP. Now at this point the best decision would be for Fiora to TP bot instantly, since she knows Poppy's here. She knows that two people are there because they have this ward here. And she knows that Nami is there, so she has vision of 4 of the enemies. At any point she can TP here, start farming and put some pressure on the tower while her team goes back and teams up middle lane again. We need to point out that Fiora is almost full health and full mana at this point, so she has no reason of going back. Fiora wastes some time mid lane. Greedily takes the blue buff from Kassadin. No, it does not take the blue buff. Gives it to Vel'Koz. This is does not give it to Vel'Koz. Okay, giving it to Vel'Koz would have been a good decision. I would be pretty mad if I was Vel'Koz at this point. Okay, point. Fiora just bought Triforce. Now Triforce is a very suboptimal item on Fiora. Why? Because it's too expensive. Does not give enough attack damage, and Fiora does not eat the mana. So had she decided to go with Black Cleaver instead, Fiora would be tankier, have more damage, and basically have the same chasing potential. Now what Trinity Force does better than Black Cleaver is the Sheen proc. So Fiora in a sense has more burst, but at this point Fiora should be trying to 1v1 Poppy in the bot lane while spear pushing. Now Poppy is stacking armor, and as such the armor reduction from Black Cleaver is much more important than the Sheen proc from Triforce. So I believe this is a big waste of money, of gold, and a suboptimal build path for Fiora at any point in the game. Fiora wastes some time in the base. Maybe she had to AFK for some reason. Gets a vision ward. I think Fiora is waiting to get a TP engaged team fight. But we need to know that Fiora is not too tanky at these points. So being an engage for her team is not going to do very much. She's trying to save Kassadin from Jarvan, but I'm not sure she's doing a great job at this point. Kassadin again leaves with almost 0 HP. Fiora gets 1v1 by Ezreal. Graves gets a double kill. Again, her team wins a fight, and they should translate this into Baron. Now again, this team fight did not need to happen. Like, 4k gold is a pretty big lead, but it's still not enough to take. It's still not enough of a gold lead to mean that a team fight is won 100% of the time. Again, Fiora could have just gone bot split pushed. Fiora's team has a lot of disengage. Like, Kassadin can practically never be caught. Graves has 2 escapes. Vel'Koz is a pretty mobile champion, but he can zone enemies with his skills. And Lee Sin also has 1, maybe 2 escapes in some cases. So Fiora's team does not have very good engage other than Lee Sin or Kassadin, but Kassadin is gonna die if he engages. But they do have great disengage, and they should be using Fiora's split pushing instead of team fighting at this point. Even though that team fight went well. Nami's getting caught out, Kassadin gets a kill. Fiora makes a good decision to go top, clear the big wave. Again, Fiora should not be teaming up with his team at this point, because they're fighting Dragon 4v5, which they don't have to fight. This Dragon is not too important, that they do not need to take it. Fiora wasted time coming to Dragon from top lane without using TP, while she could have been pushing this wave and taking the turret. Poppy kills Graves. Fiora gets caught out and dies 1v3. And this is an ace that could have been prevented had the team not fought 4v5 and had Fiora split push top. Red team takes Byron. Fiora is again wasting time in the jungle when she should be split pushing top. Poppy TP's in. Blue team takes a good team fight. That's a mistake on red team's part. They should have been not fighting, using their Baron buff advantage on all three lanes, trying to push turrets. Fiora does a good job of getting mid turret after winning the team fight. Gets a little greedy for red buff, but she gets away with it. Now Fiora has a TP advantage again. Vel'Koz should not be getting caught at this point 1v4 when his team is back. Fiora could have been split pushing if Vel'Koz hadn't died. Red team fights for v5, gets a pick, gets a couple of turrets. Poppy dies, Fiora dies. Kassadin is trying to engage, but he can't do much. And at least at this point, red team takes in him. Now, obviously, this fight could probably not have been prevented, other than in any form other than Vel'Koz not being caught here at the beginning. But the point is that what propagated to this teamfight was the Baron, and Baron was taken from the previous teamfight because blue team took a bad fight. Again, had Fiora known her role better, known her split pushing role, put some pressure on the map, have Poppy 1v1 her, then she would have been able to prevent this. I'm not saying it's 100% Fiora fault. Obviously, this is a team game. You can't blame any one person on a team for a full team's mistake. But split pushing would have definitely been the better option than team fighting at this point in the game. And do note that split pushing is not always the best scenario. But since Fiora's team has so much disengaged that they can easily avoid fighting, I don't see why Fiora is not split pushing nearly as much as he should be. More of them are world use as a goodbye against Cinder. Again, Fiora wastes her teleport. They know that at this point they can't fight for Dragon. Ezreal gets caught. Nami gets caught. They underestimate Fiora's damage. But at the same point, they can't take anything from this fight because super minions are pushing in their base, so they practically can't pressure anywhere on the map. Fiora rushes top to defend the turret from Poppy. Even though Fiora mechanically misplays the post, she can still 1v1 Poppy. Now this is what she should be doing for the past 30 minutes in the game. Since she knows she can 1v1 Poppy at any point, and this was even without her ult, right? If Fiora has ult, she can 1v1 Poppy easily at any point in the game. Fiora is staying in base for too long for some reason, which I don't know. I think she's waiting for some gold to get an item. So she gets a BF sword and longsword. I think this is kind of a greedy buy. So the enemy's team have a lot of damage. Like Ezreal and Syndra can chunk Fiora from afar. I would say that going towards a Guardian Angel is a much better buy at this point, since she doesn't really need the extra damage. At this point, Fiora has enough damage to 1v1 any opponent in the game. So going tanky or getting some survivability of some sort would make her more useful in teamfights, since what she does at this point is team fighting. Fiora takes blue buff, which should have been given to Valkos. Jarvan makes a mistake, dies to Fiora, but then, since Fiora has no survivability, Syndra is able to destroy her. Again, blue team takes a good fight. They can translate this into Baron. But take note that minions are in the race, so they can't take any advantage other than that. Graves is trying to take top turret while his team clears mid, which I think he will manage to do. Yes, so this is a good decision. Fiora could have maybe gone top at this point. Ezreal is there to defend it. Get some extra gold from the Wraiths, the Raptors, and the team takes a turret. I don't know why Fiora keeps taking these blue buffs. She definitely does not need them, does not need the mana. The CDR is okay on her, but it's much better on Valkos. Fiora is being greedy, dies. Kassadin is doing a great job at assassinating Ezreal, but I don't think this is enough at this point. Fiora's mistake is too big. Honestly, she just lost the game for the teams. Getting caught in the enemy's base. Kassadin is doing what he can, but he's out of mana. Oh, what? Okay, let's roll that again. Okay, so Kassadin is almost out of mana. He gains some mana. One-shots 3 people. Very well played. Now this Kassadin is trying to solo carry this game at this point. Poppy is doing a good job applying some pressure bot lane. Now Fiora may want to TP top at this point, since she knows that Ezreal cannot 1v1 her and that Poppy just died bot lane. She could have TP'd there, fought the Ezreal, taken the turret. She decides not to. Goes instantly back. I think she can afford a Bloodthirster. Yep, so builds a Bloodthirster. Not a bad buy by any means, but I just believe that GA would have been much better. Kassadin dies to Jarvan. I am not sure how this happened. Syndra takes another kill. Well, basically, Fiora's team is team fighting without Fiora at this point, and even if she's able to, yeah, she's able to kill Poppy, but that's not enough. She dies to Ezreal. And this is a 4v1, Lee Sin has no way of defending the game, and this is a victory for Red Team. No, I guess not yet. Kassadin just respawned. Yeah, this is definitely a mistake on red team's part. They should have tried to take an extra turret. Let's see what Fiora does. She does have TP. She does not join her team. Red team just wins another fight, kills Kassadin. And this should finally be the end of this game. Lee Sin and Valkyrie try to defend, Fiora tries to defend. There is nothing they can do at this point, they are 3v5. And this is GG, unless Kassadin can pull off some crazy shit. Kills Azure, but that's not enough to win them the game. So, red team wins this game. Now, from Fiora's perspective, Fiora made quite a few mistakes, and the three most important I want to point out is A, build path. So, Triforce, a very suboptimal buy. Black Cleaver gives her more damage, more tankiness, is cheaper. Second, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, a greedy buy would be good if she was winning lane hard and needed the extra cooldown reduction to chase Poppy down, but that was clearly not the case. The top lane turret was not taken until very late in that game, so I would say that the lack of combat stats from Ionian Boots of Lucidity was a bad idea. And then Bloodthirster was an okay, not that bad a buy, but again, I have to say that some survivability, even taking into account that her boots did not provide any survivability and she had no tanky items other than more of them are Mortius. I believe that taking Guardian Angel instead of Bloodthirster would have been very important. Now, the second thing, mechanics. Throughout this game, Fiora makes quite a lot of mechanical misplays in 1v1s against Poppy. Most important one being the first blood, the 1v1 somewhere around here where she should have won, and a couple of more missed riposts, but these are going to be fixed with practice, so there's nothing a replay analysis can do about mechanics. And the third is playstyle. So Fiora was trying to teamfight at this point, and this is not a very good choice because she knows that her team has a very, very good disengage. They have Lee Sin kick, they have all these dashes, and they have some okay wave clear to clear waves. Like, they are not scared of the 5v4 because honestly, the only engage the enemy team has is Jarvan ult into Nami ult into Poppy wombo combo. But if they stay far enough away and can dash out of Jarvan ults, this engage is not a problem. So the enemy team has a very good pick and wombo combo comp, while Fiora's team has a very good split push and disengage comp. However, Fiora decides not to split push this game, and I believe that is the most important mistake she made in this whole game, and I believe that was the reason they lost that game. Thank you, my name again is Costa, and this is Roxxare replay analysis.